Yeah.
You know, we were at the class and then Pat had her incident. I was at the class and I had my incident. Like,
well, I give you another example too, Chuck. The fact that you guys went out and helped the guy who happened to be worth $500 million, the pharmaceutical guy, and we're all putting that energy out, and he just you happen to be in that place, and he's in that place, and it just all of a sudden marries together, and then he's introducing you to his wife. You know, it's not more than just it kind of goes to the concept too, Chuck, of that all of our blessings and all of our things that we want in life are already there in place. We just have to go receive it and pick it up. But if we put it out there,
I believe that.
Well, we can take the word vibration out of it and put prayer into it. If we basically are stating something, that's a form of prayer. That we want this and we feel this and we need this. And not if you sit there and wait on it, now that's when the hippie thing comes in. But when you actually say you want it and you move toward it out there in the universe or the world, whatever we want to call it, then it aligns. It just happens to come in your life. And this is what blessings.
yeah, I'm not saying action is not involved. I'm not just saying like, oh, because we thought about a bad guy coming, we're going to be now victim of the bad guy. But I'm just saying like,
that's kind of what you're inferring though.
No, it's not.
No, that's not what she's saying.
No, that's not at all what I'm saying. But I'm just saying like,
if you're prepared for crime, then you're more likely to have crime. That's reticular activation. That's not law of attraction.
You're going to be more likely to notice it.
Exactly. It's there all the time anyway. It's just that you notice it.
Right, but that's what
Not that it's being attracted to you.
That's what I was thinking about though. That's
where I disagree with it. Nothing's being attracted to you. Nothing has changed except you. You're noticing something that's been there all along.
But that's the point of attraction. Success has been there all along, but until we focus our mind on it, until we state it in our declarations, we aren't receiving it. The same exact thing as negativity. It's been there all along. And if that's what we're focusing on, that's what we're going to get. The same with like everything that we're saying about how we declare power, we declare receiving the goodness. It's been there. I mean, like the book we're reading right now.
Well, that's a whole different concept than what we started talking about.
No, I just don't think I don't think I'm explaining it in a way that you're understanding what I'm saying, because I'm saying exactly that.
Probably not. But happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday.
Pretty much am.
I like that energy, the way we start in the morning time. That's good.
I know, it's great.
Yeah.
Evidently, I'm misunderstanding Mariah. I don't mean to debate. I'm misunderstanding.
And like I don't mind discussing, but I'm just like, I'm not saying that action is not a part of it. Action is absolutely a part of it. But I was just thinking about the situation when we were discussing like being prepared. And just like, like when
it's been there all the time anyway. It's just, you notice it more.
Right. And that's
just good, because then you don't get caught unaware.
Right.
Yeah, it's like if you're carrying, it's not that you're inviting problems into your life when you
Plus,
carry.
you're a total badass. You have to carry because you're just a total little badass.
Well, yeah, and then you're walking
Oh,
around.
I'm definitely going to carry. But no, I was thinking about like, if I'm thinking about situations constantly, how much of that will like attract certain situations and how much of it is just natural. Like I was just thinking about how this applies to that aspect. I'm not saying it does absolutely. I was just wondering how much having that mentality consistently can influence our world. That's what I was saying. I'm not saying that this is an applicable concept.
It is a funny coincidence though that both of you
I know, it's weird.
had incidents the same day as Charles' class.
Mariah, the bottom line, you looked great on a ranch.
Sure. That also matters.
Let's go with what matters. Let's go with what matters.
I'll take it.
How nice.
I'll take it.
That's great.
Hey, good morning, CJ. I'm glad you joined us.
Hey, CJ, how are you?
CJ's like, oh man, I don't know if I
I think he's frozen. Oh, there he is.
No, I think he's
mute.
he's on mute at the moment.
Ah, there's the button. Morning.
Morning,
Good
morning.
morning, CJ.
Now that everyone's awake and attentive, let's get
Yeah,
started.
we're on fire this morning. Woo!
Yeah,
That's
look out.
great.
Oh, and incidentally, I should mention I'm in a bad mood today.
Oh my
This-
God.
This early in the morning?
Yeah, man, I woke up with a sinus headache.
Oh.
Oh, that
So look
explains it
out.
all.
There it goes.
Nothing. Good morning. So I should just put myself on mute right now.
You have a nice look on your face. You don't look like you don't
18
feel good.
minutes late.
I'm kidding.
It's the calm before the storm, Terrell.
I mean, I do have a sinus headache, but I'm kidding. I'm not crabby.
He's usually very even-tempered.
Yeah.
So we're in chapter 8,
Yes. Woo!
Yeah, this is my favorite topic coming up.
decision, the mastery of procrastination. And it's the 7th step to riches. It says the lack of decision was near the head of the list of the 30 major causes of failure. This is no mere statement of a theory. It is a fact. Procrastination, the opposite of decision, is a common enemy that practically everybody must conquer. So I'm a big procrastinator. I do. I procrastinate, and then I wait till like the very last second to have to do something,
Okay.
and then I'm running around to do it.
Can I ask a question, Pat?
Yeah.
Why is it because when you wait to the last minute, do you get more energy? Do you feel like you can do it better? Like, why do you wait to the last possible minute to do it?
I don't know. I did that even in school. It was just, I think it's from training from when you're little. Because I remember school wasn't such a big deal. Like, we've spoken about that school wasn't such a big deal when I was little. And, oh, go play in the yard, my parents would say. And
Lucky you.
I know. But it wasn't good training. So it wasn't good formal training. And so those bad habits have just stayed with me. And so it like deep-seated in the back of my mind, I'm still in that play mode.
Pat, it's kind of funny because you look like a person that plans things and person that is very proper when it comes to certain like things. So how does that connect? Like
That
you
is
look like a
true.
planner. You
I
look,
do plan. That's true. I do. But on certain things, then I let things go.
okay.
Is it things that you're not passionate about?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it priority?
Yeah, yes.
I don't know. I wouldn't.
No,
No. I
no,
wouldn't say
and
that either.
I've got proof.
What's the proof?
We're,
No, it's not that we're talking about. No, we're talking about boring
I've
things.
got proof, but let's get back to the law of attraction first. That's kidding.
You just hate that law of attraction thing.
All right. Okay, so we're getting ready to go camping. We're leaving either tomorrow or the next day. We haven't decided yet. But, it would be like we had no way of knowing that we were leaving to go camping.
It's been planned for a year.
Yeah, we knew a year ago we were going camping this week.
But that's fun. I love
We were
that.
scrambling around like chickens with no heads yesterday trying to get our camper ready.
Really?
So it can't be a no passion thing because we both love going camping.
But maybe that's your style. Being spontaneous and kind of like figuring it out on the way. It's also fun.
No,
Like I like it.
No,
No, it's usually not actually.
I have a theory. This is just my observation.
Is it perfectionism?
Oh gosh,
Nope.
no.
No, that's exactly what it is. It's too simple. It's so simple you'd never figure it out.
It's laziness.
Maybe you just maybe you just want to have more adventure.
No, it's just the whole getting sucked into ADD land.
Oh, yeah, that's
Ah.
But it's adventurous because when you know everything ahead of time is
Yes.
boring.
It's lack of focus. And
I don't know. I call it adventure.
Well,
whether it be taking care of a problem on a contract or getting the camper ready to go camping, it's the same, exactly the same circumstances.
Well, you know what? At least
Because
you're honest.
you get focused on, oh, I've got to go do this. Oh, wait, I got to do this. And then I got to do this. And it's like, oh, crap, I should have done that.
Mhm.
So it's
Okay,
lack
I
of
have a
focus.
question. How do
Lack
you
of
get
planning.
ready for a trip?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
How do you, like, let's say you have tickets and you're flying somewhere. Do you get ready like a couple hours before the flight or the night before? How do you get ready for a trip?
We have different methods, Pat and I. My method is that I've got everything so that I can get ready very quickly.
Uh-huh.
Like if you were to say, hey, Chuck, you need to head to Europe this afternoon, I could be ready.
Yeah, you see?
Mhm.
Because I could get my stuff together. It's not that I'm ready now, but I could get the stuff together very quickly.
Same here.
Mhm.
I could probably get my stuff together pretty quickly, too.
So you're flying to Europe then?
I'd go now. Bye.
Yeah,
Oh, I see
what you're saying.
right now.
I see what you're saying. You say if they're excited about it, really, really excited, they'll make it happen. Are you saying that?
I don't know. I'm just
Always.
Yes.
always,
I
yeah.
am. Like when it's really, when there is a deadline, when there is a ticket, they, you know, and Chuck looks very organized. So, you know, he probably have things like half ready. So you just need to put it, like, for me, I'm driven by purpose. So it's not all organized, but I'll make it organized. Just give me an hour and I'm out. Like I'm in the plane.
Like
So,
for a trip, I do all the planning. Like so for the trip for Sioux Falls, I made all the reservations. I made the reservation for the Airbnb.
Mhm.
You know, I do all the planning. And when we used to travel, you know, for Chuck's job, everything was planned out. He didn't have to worry about anything.
That's
So-
the irony, is Pat would plan everything flawlessly.
Yes.
so
Well, I don't mean that past tense. She does. Like the trip when we came out to see y'all a few weeks ago, everything was planned perfectly.
Car.
I didn't have a worry in the
He doesn't
world.
have to worry about
Pat
anything.
said she's planning it. I don't even
Right.
have to
He
think
doesn't
about
think
it.
about it. Like our trip to Europe, you know, for our honeymoon was 5 weeks and
Totally planned.
totally planned.
so it's only with campers then.
You know, I did do that through
Campers
AAA.
and real estate contracts.
I did, you know, do honeymoon for AAA. So, but they assisted me. So, but everything was planned out, like all our planes and trains and
You look like
cars.
a planner. I mean, yeah, just campers. It's okay.
So I am
Just
very
campers.
good at that. But it's just, I don't know, just certain things.
Well, in our Monday meeting, we're going to talk about that in more detail
Okay, that's a good idea.
because light bulb came on, but it's not relevant to everybody.
Okay.
Can I ask a question, Rita? We talking about decisions? Who in the room is the person that if you're going out to eat, maybe it could be the person in a relationship, you're like, oh, I don't care. We can go anywhere kind of thing. And then when the person picks or something and you're like, oh, let's try Chinese or something, then maybe you may say, no, I don't like Chinese. Or would you just... Is anyone in the room that person?
I don't like Chinese.
Not normally. Usually I know exactly what, especially when it comes to food.
Yeah.
I know exactly what I want or what sounds good. There's been a few times that I've been like that.
So when you're on the menu, you can make a decision pretty fast. And when the waiter comes,
Save the menu.
Or if somebody else makes it, I'm happy with them making it and I'll go eat wherever they want to eat. I really will. I mean, if they made the decision, I'll go.
If someone comes and say, hey, you know, we have to go there, like, if, you know, I would give it a chance. But I was just making a video some time ago for guys. When you come to invite a girl, you need to have a plan where you're going. Don't ever ask a woman, like, where would you like to go? Because our women don't like it. If you're a man, you have a plan. If she really can't stand that food, she'll tell you. But you don't
that's
come
kind of
with,
one-sided though, isn't it, right?
Now, Veronica, you have an issue in that area.
no.
I agree.
I'm
with
just
that.
saying what works and what doesn't. But see, you spend your time, you get ready, you planned it, and he comes like, hi, well, I guess where would you like to go? I guess we can go to this place. It's like you have to have your thing ready. You have to have a strategy.
Yeah.
Why can't you have decide?
It's our mentality. If you want to win that battle, you need to have a strategy. If you are wishy-washy, you're gonna lose. You're gonna say, well, come back when you know. That's what you're gonna say.
Mhm.
You don't know where to go.
Yes.
She's gonna close the door in front of your face and say, come back when you know.
But
So
isn't she wishy-washy for not helping with the decision?
you need to have a
No.
decision if you
That's not your job on the first date.
if you are leader. If you are leader, or you're just like this flappy thing.
Like what Veronica's saying, she's not wishy-washy because if it's something she doesn't like, she'll say it. She'll say,
Yeah.
I don't know that
Hey, I have an allergy for 10 years. I
But
love dogs.
the guy should come with a plan because I need to know whether I want to in other areas.
It's not that. It's not that. You thought about that. You took a decision
Yeah.
and planned it ahead.
So the woman washed the dishes?
This isn't even about dishes. This
No,
is about
well,
first date.
Okay.
Here's what I'm saying.
You just asked about a date.
No, we're saying that we have these men roles and then these women roles. Like, you're the man, you're supposed to do this, and you're the woman,
No,
you're supposed to do that.
why are you so?
no.
Don't gender stereotype me.
If I were to ask someone out, whether it was a guy or a girl, it's my job to have
Yes.
a plan.
Yeah.
That's like my responsibility. Of course, if they give me feedback, then yes, I should be malleable enough to work with that. But as
Veronica said if your husband came to you.
Huh?
Veronica said if your husband came to
No.
you.
No, she said first date. She
No.
said for a date.
I want to explain you something.
And for my husband, yeah, I want him to have a plan.
It's not like
Easy,
spontaneous things aren't welcome. They are welcome, but in certain situations, like you can say, hey, let's go for a walk, it's casual. But in my country, things aren't that casual. So if I go for a date, I dress up, I plan my time, and like I am excited. So if you coming over and you're all sloppy in your t-shirt from yesterday and smell like garlic and like, hey, I guess we can, I don't know, where do you want to go? So you put responsibility on the other person. You're unprepared. You put no effort toward it. And yes, so it's just like,
One date.
it's our culture.
Can I just ask one question though? Where do I pick up a copy of this book so I can learn these rules that you guys are coming up with? I need to get a copy of this book.
So this morning, we have an 8 o'clock appointment with a young, I think it's a couple, but it might just be the girl. And because we're getting together because we do a charity event called Help Portrait in December. It's a photography charity event. So we're going to talk to her about that. And also she is going to be looking for a house one of these days, not now, but soon. So we're going to be talking to her about that too. And she's just a cool person. So I'm the one that initiated it, and I'm the one that said, let's meet at Craft Cafe at 8 o'clock in the morning. So it is a plan. You say what time and you say where.
Mhm.
Yeah, actually, that's good. We're getting us back around to business.
Yeah,
Because if you actually want to meet with somebody, you can't just say, hey, let's get together and wait for them. You have to say, okay, is Tuesday at 2 or
Right.
Friday at 3 better for
right.
you?
And from a business perspective, everyone here should be doing that. You don't say in an email, let's get together. You
Right.
see calendar, you have your calendar up, and you make sure that you have those dates available.
Yeah, you tell them when you
You
want
tell
to
them,
meet and give them an alternate.
because I made sure that I have that time open, and actually I did put it on my calendar, and I put tentative,
Yeah.
because I wanted to make sure that I left those times open for Alyssa. And so then she got back to me pretty much right away, and then I, put it in the calendar. But from a business perspective, you have to make decisions. Like one thing that the book
Oh,
says.
can I interject one other thing there?
Yes.
Another strategy I use, if I'm not prepared to talk to that person, I'll tell them, tell me when you'd like to get together, because that's a great stall tactic.
Tell me when you like to get together.
Yeah, because they won't. They'll never figure it out. But if I do want to get with them and I am ready and I need to talk to them, I'll tell them when I want to talk to them and give them an alternate.
Yeah.
So you can use it either way depending on your circumstances.
And one thing in the book, it says analysis of several hundred people who accumulated fortunes well beyond the $1 million mark disclosed the fact that every one of them had the habit of reaching decisions promptly and of changing these decisions slowly if and when they would change. We've read that before.
Yeah.
Yes. That's really a good one.
Before.
Yeah.
And they've said also that people who aren't successful do the complete opposite.
Can we stay there for a little bit? I just want to say,
Yes.
do you think that's because they don't aim for perfection?
Say that again, Abdul. Say
When
it
they
again.
make decisions quickly, perfectionism is not on their mind. They're not analyzing the thing of, it has to be perfect, it has to be this. They just, maybe they thought about it a little bit, but then when they bring it to the public, they just say, hey, this is what it's going to be. We're going after it.
Yeah, it's
Well, analysis is paralysis.
And taking action takes precedence
Yeah.
over everything else.
and it's good. It's a good thing.
Like,
And we can adjust it as we
taking
go.
action.
Yes.
But I think the whole point of it too is like they can reach closer to perfection quicker because they're making quicker decisions. They have a rule book, a blueprint of how they make decisions, why they make the decisions that they make. So they're able to reach a conclusion that they can stand behind quicker because they already have that in place.
They talked about Henry Ford.
I get so hung up on perfection because in the past, I don't have confidence in the decision-making skills. So I have to analyze and make sure that I'm making the right decision before I put my name to it. So that's what takes me so long. It's not so much that I need it to be perfect. It's that I need to be confident in it.
Yeah.
And the way I establish my confidence is by researching and making sure it's as close to a model that I value.
Yeah.
The one thing the book also says, which I thought was really important, the majority of people who fail to accumulate money sufficient for their needs are generally easily influenced by the opinions of others. They permit the newspapers and the gossiping neighbors to do their thinking for them. Opinions are the cheapest commodities on earth.
Wow.
So just think about, Facebook. I mean, this book was written a really long time ago, but think about all the social media that's influencing us. It's the newspapers. Oh my God. I mean, I actually do get the newspaper delivered every day. So, because we don't have TV. So, but just think about all the social media, Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, or, whatever social media that we use, and even TV, for those of you who do have TV and do watch the news, that are so heavily influenced, or even by family and friends that are very highly influenced by it.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that it said,
Exactly. And one other thing, like Abdul, I know that you have had conversations about how, your success and the way you're going in your life, people have made comments about it and have tried, it's the whole crab theory of how they tried to bring you down. And so that statement to me really, it's on page 158 if anybody really has, this book. That really made an impact on me.
And when I read that, I thought about all the people we know, because, we know, a range of people from multimillionaires to people who are one step from homelessness.
Yeah.
And it really holds true 100% for the people that we know.
It says if you are influenced by the opinions of others, you will have no desire of your own.
yeah.
This is why you don't say anything.
I thought it was interesting how detailed it said don't share it with anyone outside of your mastermind
Yeah,
group.
I was about to say.
Yes.
I love that.
Mastermind.
Close friends, relatives, don't even do it. And even if you do, don't even tell them why.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
I
They'll
feel
be compelled
empowered.
to give you their opinion.
I was
Yeah,
smiling.
wasn't that
because
something?
I was a mastermind. Yeah.
Yeah, just keep it among the mastermind group.
Mhm.
I thought that was very interesting.
Basically, he was applying to, you need to know, like, in your core who you are, and don't let yourself to be undermined by other people. I think it's so, like, we sometimes don't even take time to connect, like, with what we really want. And I think that taking a decision, I don't know what you guys believe. I think being able to take decisions faster and be more confident, it's a skill. Like, for example, sometimes maybe you are in a family when somebody takes decisions for you, and then you're on your own. And I think when you practice, take them a little bit, how to say this, I believe it's a skill. You can develop it to be better at taking decisions. At least for me, I'm becoming better at taking decisions.
Mhm.
I just take them.
Yeah, you're right.
Something Mariah, because I talked to her because we were talking about perfectionism and making decisions, and something I thought about was, and we were talking about it too, was that when you work a job, a lot of times you don't make decisions. They make the decisions for you before you even walk in the building. So you could work a career of being afraid because, that's where these rules come from. Like, well, I can't do that because the rule book says this. So you kind of grow up in a culture where you just like, if you never in a business, where you are always afraid to make decisions on your own.
Yeah. Yes, totally.
One other thing the book said, which I really I thought was important, was, it's on page 159 in case anybody wants to follow. It talks about listening instead of talking. And
Uh-oh.
yes. And, we talked about forming people, FORM. So it's family, organization, recreation, and then your message. Remember we spoke about that before? Mm-hmm. And it just comes very naturally for me now. I don't even think about it. And like I formed those people on Saturday night. They did all the talking, basically. I mean, they did ask us some questions like if we had children and how long we were married, and they wanted to get to know us a little too, but basically, they did all the talking.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine that.
Text message that they had like a blast with us, and we were with them 4.5 hours.
And it was interesting to me that, this guy's owns a giant pharmaceutical company, so he is well aware of how to deal with people. And it's interesting sitting with people who are also doing the same thing, because he was forming us at the same time we were forming him, and it really made for a great conversation.
It was great, but I'm a good former.
Yes.
I guess I'm calling myself a former.
Okay,
I've
159.
Oh, sorry, Pat, go.
I've just been doing it for so long now that it just comes so naturally, and I don't.
It takes the burden off of you to have to be entertaining.
Yes.
Yes, if somebody really wants to talk,
Let them talk.
And people love to talk, and that from, I think it's been other books that we've read, or maybe we've just discussed it, about that when, I think it was in How to Win Friends and Influence People, that the other person will walk away feeling like $1 million, and they feel like, oh my gosh, that was like the best conversation ever.
Yeah.
And you didn't say anything.
And, and we hardly really, we said some things. It was very good conversation back and forth, but I'll be honest with you, I really felt like it was maybe 70-30 maybe?
I'd say 20.
80-20.
Yeah, 80%.
80-20, them 80, us 20, yeah. And which was wonderful, because then Chuck got a text message from him, and what did it say?
Oh, just like what a wonderful time they had, and just, it's,
that night.
And and I got to tell you, that made me feel great, because of course we want $1 million listing, of course, but I have to tell you, and I think like you people in this room would understand this, that I was really happy we made friends.
Yeah, like we're having a barbecue on the 22nd. We're going to invite them.
If we never see a bit of business from
we
them,
don't care.
It's fine.
They're really nice people.
They're great people. And
very down to earth. So I thought.
Boy, doesn't that sound cliche?
I was going to say law of attraction, Chuck.
Damn it.
That damn law.
Oh, you got me there, brother.
So it says that one of your first decisions B, to keep a closed mouth and open ears and eyes. And I thought,
I better write that.
I think the eyes open is very, very important because I think that we don't use our eyes enough.
Oh, like what do you mean, Pat?
Amen.
Oh my gosh, there's a million things going on in the world that people don't see. Like, I'm very observant and people just don't watch.
Yeah.
Chuck is too. He's very observant, but I think that's from being photographers. And I think if Carlos was here, he would say that too, that he's probably very observant too. But people don't see a lot.
That's true.
Carol
Observing.
says that.
Right, and you teach that, Terrell, to be a competent observer.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people aren't competent observers.
Right. I love this one too. That you made me think of it, Vosberg. That's on page 159, where it says, remember, every time you open your mouth in the presence of a person who has an abundance of knowledge, you display to that person your exact stock of knowledge on your lack of it or your lack of it.
Yes.
Cool.
Great way to look like an idiot if you don't know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then it says genuine wisdom is usually conspicuous through modesty and silence.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, that's something to master.
So the person that's really sitting in a room in a social setting that is silent is kind of really displaying intelligence.
Yes,
Yes.
like Danielle, she's not here today, but I can see so much wisdom in her. You know, she's
Yes.
just the coolest, you know?
And Paula.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
CJ.
Oh, what's the proverb? A fool opens his mouth wide. Wasn't that and flaps his lips or something? It's a proverb.
That would be one way to say it. Yep.
Okay, but let's not go deep in this because we here like to talk.
I know. I love to talk. That's why I better shut my lips. I'm gonna.
But I think it's different within our like mastermind group.
Oh yeah,
Because we've all taken the opportunity to listen.
I've always loved what it
Mirai,
said.
good point.
And we're all smart.
You can open or keep your mouth closed and be thoughtful, or open it and remove all doubt. I've always
Yes.
done that.
Love that quote.
That's good. Say that again, Paula.
You can keep your mouth closed and be thoughtful, or open it and remove all doubt.
Mm.
So you have to be careful what you say.
Yeah.
So now on, it's going to be a silent recording.
Not in this group, Veronica.
I don't think that's physically possible with us.
It'll never happen.
No.
But I think different people have power in different things. So some people have very powerful presence and they are very observant. So they wait for the moment and then they have this power, you know, message, bottom lines that they can give. And I think it's awesome. But somebody has to be the life of the party.
Are you feeling defensive, Veronica?
I think so.
No, actually, I see the power in people who are really confident. They don't have to share everything. They find advice inside. But I think for me, I'm learning some things, and yes, I'm learning.
You're learning some things.
Yeah, I
Um,
just love talking.
No.
and we like listening. I was gonna say, when Henry Ford made this Model T, and everybody, I think they referred to it as the world's ugliest car, something like that. It was a terrible looking car, and he totally ignored all his advisors and everything, and still made this car. I thought that was pretty brave on his part.
Wasn't it the first car?
No.
Mm-mm.
No, not officially. Like, how many cars were before that?
Lots. It was the first mass-produced one.
There's a mass-produced one. Okay.
Yeah, before that, they were kind of handmade.
So did he end up doing well with the Model T? That's the part I don't know. When it actually was released, was it like nobody was buying it? Or did he
He
change
made a
it?
fortune. He made a fortune on it.
Yeah, you did.
You guys know?
He made,
Georgia?
am I muted?
Is that a rhetorical question?
No, I don't know. I
Am
mean,
I muted? He made a fortune.
no, I think I think I don't know the track record on what he did with the Model T. Was it a success? Because I remember.
A giant success financially.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on mute.
No, you're there.
It's the power of a mastermind, Mariah.
So you're okay. So you were saying, Mariah, that it was a success.
Yeah, he made a fortune on it.
Mm.
Like, huge success until he had to change it. But I mean, and even then, he still continued to be successful. But
In a matter of days after the release, 15,000 orders were placed.
I apologize, Mariah. I didn't mean to cut you off.
oh no, just Abdullah kept asking if it was successful, and I'm like,
Okay. I thought maybe I cut you off.
No. Okay.
So, yeah, it was. Because
Yeah.
In a matter of days after the release, 15,000 orders were placed. And so on May 26, 1927, Henry Ford watched the 15th millionth Model T Ford roll off the assembly line.
Wow.
I would say that's a success. 15 millionth.
and did it take like days in the past to make one vehicle?
Yeah.
Like it was like a week or something like that, and they were able to get it down to minutes. I mean,
Yeah, it was the first automobile that they applied the assembly line technique of building something. So they were able to crank those things out.
And I have to say this, and I don't know if you guys know the history, but maybe you guys, when you get a chance, look at it. I was kind of angry with Henry Ford a little bit because I always looked at Henry Ford as a guy, as a taker, not a giver. Because most of the secrets that he had for the car, the word plant came from George Washington Carver, who you will see Henry Ford in a lot of pictures with. Same thing with Thomas Edison and Tesla. But that guy, George Washington Carver, gave a lot of the materials that the car was made with, like the soybean and things like that, all came from him. And I don't think he got a lot of credit for the manufacturing of the car.
Yeah, I don't think he got any credit.
So the car used to take 12 and a half hours for production, and then he got it down to 93 minutes.
He was in the history books because I remember him in history, but it wasn't very significant, not like Henry Ford, the car. You know,
No.
I didn't know what he was famous for, George Washington Carver. And that was it, right, with the cars.
He was more like the plant whisperer. That's a good way to say it.
in the book, though, it says, keep in mind the fact that every person with whom you associate is, like yourself, seeking the opportunity to accumulate money. If you talk about your plans too freely, you may be surprised when you learn that some other person has beaten you to your goal by putting into action ahead of you.
Yeah.
So he basically, he put into play what we're learning.
Yeah.
Yes.
At least that.
Not being a giver, but that is, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Well, I was a giver and I got my business stolen from me. So is it better to be a taker, or is it better to be a giver?
Well, this is
I'm not
why
talking about relationships, but in terms of business.
I don't. Well, I was going to say a name. I'm not going to say it. Carry on.
No, that's not fair.
No, trust me. I'm not going to say it.
Now, that's an interesting point, Mariah, because, I mean, in business, you do have to be a bit of an opportunist, but you have to do it in an ethical way.
Right.
Whereas,
Exactly.
like, in the case you're mentioning, your business partner was an opportunist in a very unethical way
Correct.
and literally stole.
Right.
Whereas, maybe if they were an opportunist in an ethical way, then everybody would have made money.
And I think that, you
But
really have to-
also, if I had applied or known about these, like when they came in and started asking questions, I instantly was excited to share my passion.
Yeah.
So I shared way more information. I showed weakness. I showed all of this stuff that because I didn't know this.
But this is how we learn, you know, that's part of life. You know, you're gonna trust the wrong person.
Well, I have learned a lot.
Sure. But at the same time, you know, some people learn and then they have an accident like that and then they become actually, they kind of close themselves up and they kind of boil in the turmoil, and then any good opportunities can't come because they expect the betrayal from everybody. So it's kind of like, you know, it's there is a fine line of becomes a closed person, or actually, okay, learn from that and open again. You actually have to open again to the world, just be wiser.
Right, like that's why I can share with you guys, or that's why I was saying, like, talking within our mastermind is safe, because I mean, it specifically says, again, make sure that the people with whom you associate are complete in sympathy and harmony with your purpose.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that just because they liked my idea was that they were on the same page.
No.
I can tell you that you really have to be careful in any aspect. With my ex-husband and our business that we had, we started that business in 97, and in 2001, I think it was, I'm trying to think what year it was. Anyway, she tried to steal the business away, and what happened was they had put me on the board because they wanted to have it be a minority business by having 2 women. Well, that was a mistake. Back in 97, they did that because now I could vote. And she didn't realize that. And so we voted her out. I don't really understand all of the particulars about it, but we ended up paying her $1 million to leave, but it cost us millions and millions and millions. I mean, I don't even know how many millions it cost us for all the lawyers. But my point being is that even within an organization, you can have, as much as you trust someone or you think, you can still have an issue. So, you know, so Mariah says, you know, that someone stole her business and she gave all the secrets away. It doesn't matter. I really think you have to keep things close to your chest.
Yeah.
Yep.
You really have to keep things close to your chest. And the only ones that you can really trust, like the only person I trust is really Chuck.
And that's good.
Truly. And the only one that Abdul can trust is his wife, is Shauna. You know, and I know we're in the mastermind group. I'm not saying we can't trust each other, but you really, the only true person that you can trust is the one that is, you know, in your bed with you.
Well, I think it's just a different level. This is
It's different levels, yeah.
What does that look, Terrell? Can you explain that?
Say it.
Yeah, but you know, in many situations, it's the other way around. We stay with somebody we do not trust. We're not even friends anymore, and our friends are on the side. And that's something that, you know, people should not agree to live with. But then it comes to other points. But I agree that the person you stay in your life, you have to have total trust. I love that. I think
I agree.
yes,
Totally.
it's powerful.
Can I ask you guys something about giving and taking? Okay, so in Arbonne, one of the things that some of the podcasts, I think, a lot of them say this, Eric Worre, first you take care of yourself and your family. And then after a certain point, then you start giving. And I know there's a fine line. You don't always just take, even at the beginning, we should be giving a little bit. But do you agree with that? That you take care of yourself first? It's like that oxygen mask post that you did, Abdul. And then once you get yourself squared away, then it's when you really focus on giving. Or no?
I agree.
Yeah. But I think that's where what Chuck said is it needs to be ethical.
Yes.
Like,
It doesn't need to be. It's supposed to be. But see, that's the thing. That's how a lot of guys got burnt. Like even with George Washington Carver, he said, "Well, God gave me these ideas, so I feel I should just share them with everybody." And he ended up getting burned in the end. And Tesla ended up sitting in a freaking apartment dying of basically starvation because he didn't make anything. But everybody else was benefiting and still to this day benefiting off of a lot of his inventions. So
But that was, I mean, did he get burnt? That was a self-fulfilled burn. Like, he didn't want to make a profit out of it. It's different if he like was trying to build a business and wanted to charge for it and someone stole it.
But see, you would think an ethical guy that would say, you know what? Thank you for that idea, but let me share some of these profits with you for giving me that idea. An ethical guy would do that.
I see that.
And but a lot of times, let's be honest, a lot of people aren't ethical when it comes to that kind of stuff. So sometimes it's good just to keep the mouth closed and basically work in secret.
Yeah.
And we're always surprised when somebody takes advantage of us.
I just got taken
Me
advantage
too.
of.
I'm always surprised at that.
But
And I
that's
wish
good.
I was one of those people who says nothing ever surprises me, but a lot of things surprise me.
Yes, but that's good.
Always.
How could this happen?
Because you're a good person.
Yeah, it's because you're a good person. And you know, when you becoming this person who do not trust absolutely no one, you actually becoming one of those people who you are fighting with. Because like, yes,
Well, this is why I say you trust your mastermind. You shouldn't,
Yes, you
shouldn't
create-
trust anyone, but maybe a few.
yeah, right. But you see, if you would become completely like, you know, you had the situations where people, you know, misuse your trust. I had plenty of those too back in time. And so I wouldn't even be here if I was, no, these people can't be, they're all different, they'll take. So I think if you go deep to that mentality, you wouldn't even have a mastermind. Like you wouldn't have anybody. Because if you completely get in, like you have to get over it, get wiser, and create your group where you can feel the trust and being united by the same idea.
Well, I will say this, and I won't say a name, but I have, I think I have attracted a few people with ill intentions. So what is this thing all about? And they're not asking to join.
Right.
They're asking for specific things so
Yep.
they can duplicate. And you can tell these people that when they come with their intentions, you can tell what they're up to when they're doing it, because they'll ask you one question, all of a sudden they'll just go away. And then you respond, say, hey, what about that question you were asking? Nothing, no comment, nothing. They just want to take.
And that's going to be happening along the way. The most successful you're going to get is going to be happening. So that's inevitable. But I think it's important to be able to trust again. Like for me, you know, like your heart breaks, you know, someone betrayed you, but you need to heal and trust again, because otherwise you don't allow good things. You're going to be from everything. You're going to be hiding from good and bad. Because I'm dealing with people like that. Let's just put it like that. That think everybody is an enemy, and it's like, good God, it's just really hard to be around. You know, my mom is like that. She's like, oh, you can't have friends. They'll be all envious, and I'm like, stop this. Like, it's like I can't stand that mentality, because by having this mentality, you're becoming one of those people. You're becoming negative yourself. If you are seeing negativity is in everybody, you're becoming one of them.
Well, it's not as it in everybody, but I think you have to definitely screen.
Yes, definitely. Especially in your close circle, you have to be picky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well-
let's screen each other. Where's my magnifier?
We're almost done with chapter 9, and the only thing I do want to say, I mean, with chapter 8, we're going to go into chapter 9. We could finish up chapter 8 real quick, is they talked about the Declaration of Independence. I don't think we need to go through all of that. The only thing I do want to say about it is that, unless you guys think it's really, really important to discuss the whole thing, the only thing I think is really important about it is that it's stated this power is made up of principles described in this book. In the story of the Declaration of Independence, it will not be difficult to detect at least 6 of these principles: desire, decision, faith, persistence, the mastermind, and organized planning.
I would like to say this. I'm going to take off, but I would like to say this, is that I just thought it was real brave of men. There are a lot of men in their history that made a decision and risked their lives from the decision.
Yeah.
And Socrates, the decision to drink poison. I mean, would anyone in this room make a decision? Next time when I go and I see someone hemming and hawing over a freaking menu and they can't make a decision, I'm just going to snatch the menu down and put it down and say, make a damn decision.
Yeah.
I mean, this country wouldn't even exist.
Don't go to
Men-
dinner with a fool.
Yeah.
The decisions that those men made, they could have like been signing their life away.
Yes.
When
And
they
women's
didn't-
suffrage.
They were
That's
signing their life away.
there's another one with women's suffrage. Women. Go ahead.
I have a question for Abdul, because I was in a position like that where I like 100% stood my ground, and you kind of like questioned it.
What do you mean?
So remember the job that I didn't take because of my view on medical requirements?
Oh, you didn't? Okay, yeah, because you didn't take the shot. You didn't want to take the shot.
Yeah. How is that different?
Okay. How many years have you spent in the public health field? Studying public health?
Like over 7 years between my undergrad and master's.
So you dedicated over 7 years to get to a certain point to get to a job, and you don't take the job because of a shot. Why invest all those years?
Well, that's not the only job I could get with that degree.
But you had got to the point where you didn't have the resources that you needed to continue on day by day.
Well, Socrates dedicated his entire life to his philosophy, and he poisoned himself so as not to.
I don't know about putting the decision. And let's go. Let's just show what the shot was. What shot that you didn't want to take? What was the shot?
Any.
What was it?
I do not believe in vaccinations at all. I think they are poison.
But so what she's saying is she didn't take the vaccination, but she couldn't get the job unless she took it.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I totally agree, Mariah. As a nurse, it's mandatory in some places that you take a flu shot, hepatitis B, all these different shots. I've never had them. I would not accept a position where I had to.
But hold on.
This nurse is enlightened, people. This nurse is enlightened.
But that's the thing, though, right? I had asked about religion and there were other things that you did, and that was like, how did she end up having a career, by not making a decision? And you said that it's 100% that you just have to take it. Because I don't think that if for some people's religion, I know that they don't have any vaccination whatsoever.
But the thing is, I'm not going to lie about having another religion in order to not have to take the flu shot. Like, that is completely against my beliefs too. So even though that is an option, I'm not going to lie and be like, I'm not able to take these.
But you don't want to take it.
I don't, but not because of religious reasons. So I'm not going to do it under the guise of a religious conviction when it has nothing to do with that.
You know, I think we've all come to the point where we're giving up too many rights. You know, it's time that if you believe in something, stand your ground and hold on to that belief, because we've given up a whole lot of it.
Yep. That makes sense. Paul.
The nurse has spoken.
Good point, Paula. Very good
Yeah.
point.
I like it.
It was a great chapter. I actually going to read it again.
Yeah.
I really, this book is.
Yeah, this book.
Yeah.
This chapter, because I asked myself, would I make a life and death decision?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's something that's, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say one thing, and I'm gonna leave. When I watch, did anyone ever watch the Saddam Hussein execution?
No.
Yes.
Every night.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
I can't even
Oh
tell you.
my God, I cannot wait till
I
you
did.
come here, Brown. Wait.
No. Well, here's what I'm saying.
Walls is going to be burned to the ground by the time this woman leaves.
Oh my God. So when I watched him go out there and put that when they put the rope on his neck, and we all know this guy was a total evil man. I was just thinking, like, what is going through his mind right now? He's about to lose his life, you know. And then when I'm not saying that he lost his life for some like cause, I just thought, I brought up the point that I bet this man almost crapped his pants. He's getting ready to lose his life, and he was cursing people and things like that. But really, the people who made these decisions with the Declaration of Independence and things like that, they had the equivalent of that type of decision. Like they were going to lose their lives, and they're still signing the paper. They're still
Yes.
most people would have went home and said, "I'm not doing this at all."
That's exactly right. And can I say about women too? Like I watched that women's suffrage movie last night, or watched part of it. The decisions that women had to make to give up their families and their babies to get the right for women to vote, and their lives too. I mean, they were put in prison. They were beaten. They had their kids taken away from them. I really took that for granted.
Oh, wow.
It was a huge commitment. So when you said that about Socrates drinking poison,
Yeah.
I just went, man, people behind us have done so many things for us.
Yeah.
It worth learning the past to appreciate the present. Because, you know, they say that people who do not know the history do not have future.
Yeah.
Well,
You know,
I tell
that's
you
what
what,
I mean about taking.
Man, this was a powerful article. I mean,
I think Paula was saying something.
Yeah, we've taken all these rights for granted, Terrell, and that's what I meant about we're having so many taken away. We have gradually had so many things, like the prayer in school, and I don't know your beliefs, but we have those things taken away, and we think that's a little thing. You know, okay, we can pray with our children at home, but then there's another thing, and eventually we've lost our right to carry a gun. We've lost our right to pray in public, and yet these other religions can, and I think that I think we just need to stand up for what we believe, whatever it is. Maybe not to the point that they did in the movie, Terrell. I'm not sure I have that kind of nerve, but I do stand up for what I believe.
Well, now people believe in opinion. Like that was what was so powerful about this chapter was people, their beliefs are fundamentally fueled by opinion. It's why it's so easy to swallow the pill that we're given because it's like, oh, well, that's the opinion of the day. So then we swallow it and like no one can make their own decisions. Just like people are, like Democrats are pissed off at Trump running. And it's like, well, you're the one that said that you should have the right to choose everything.